Hello, everyone. Hello. It's so wonderful to see all your beautiful faces. This is who's having fun here. The vibration is so beautiful here. Have you noticed? Yes. I am Colette Marie Stefan. I am the fun facilitator of The Truth is Funny. I've earned that title because over the last 15 years, I have been dedicating myself to finding out how we can have more fun by being in alignment with our energy. So I have been teaching seminars for the last 10 years. And what I teach people is how to identify and eliminate energetic blocks that are prohibiting people from success in every aspect of their lives. Now, this is a gift that was given to me. I've been very blessed on my journey here. I'm just wondering if it would be okay with all of you if I just shared a little bit about myself so that you would understand where I'm coming from. Is that okay? Sure. Okay. Well, I have been so blessed to have some amazing mentors. My first mentor was Dr. Cam Ewan, and he is a 35th generation Shaolin master, and he's the one that taught me the beauty of neutrality. Then I was studying, I was very, very frightened to speak in public because I had been very badly bullied at school. And until I met him and he gave me permission to teach his method, I finally had something worth saying. And so I did the rational thing anyone would do because I was so scared to speak in public. I phoned a belly dance teacher, and I thought, if I can dance on stage, then I can talk on stage. And so I took up belly dancing, and a year later, I was on stage in a bar doing a solo, and people said, oh my God, your shimmy was beautiful. But that was just my fear. My knees were shaking. But after I did that, I realized, okay, I can speak. I have something I want to speak about. I went and I took seminars on how to teach really good seminars, how to be effective doing it. I went and I studied with another of my mentors, a brilliant man who just made his transition on December 12th, Herman Mueller. He was an amazing man. He could, what he taught is psychosomatic therapy, which is the study of how the effect that the emotions have on our physical body, starting from when we are in the womb with our mother. And so I studied under him and have my teacher's certificate in psychosomatic therapy. But then I wanted to know, how is it that remote healing is possible? So I thought, I need to learn the quantum physics of this. But I failed grade 10 algebra. And so I was like, I need to find a fun physicist. And I found Nassim Haramein, who is the founder of the Resonance Project Foundation. How many of you have heard of him? Okay, there's a few people here. He has been teaching the beauty of science and spirituality and how it all can be explained. So I went to his emissary program in Tulum, Mexico 5 years ago. And I studied for 12 days with quantum physicists from around the world. And my head felt like it was going to fall off from trying to figure out what they were really doing with the math. But on a fundamental level, I started to understand that we are part of this great organization of the universe. And I have good news for you. The world is not falling apart. The world has always been coming together, along with the multiverse. And on the tiniest quantum particles of our being, we understand this. I also studied with Majaya Satyabhagavati, a guru, who taught about the 11 karmic spaces. Back in the 70s, when all the men were dying of AIDS in San Francisco, she left New York, and she went to San Francisco, and she helped all these men that were dying in the streets, because they wouldn't let them in the hospitals, or nobody knew what was causing it. And over her, she had an ashram also in Florida. And when my mom was making her passage, they were so kind as to pray for my mom then. So I studied under her, and she identified 11 karmic spaces that all people on this planet tend to fall into. I have my master's in Christology. I've taken many modalities. I've traveled all around the world. I actually went to Egypt with a colleague and taught a seminar there. And at that time, there was only 20 people at that seminar, but Ishmael, who was the guy, is now teaching hundreds and hundreds of people in the Emirates how to be free. And I was in the sarcophagus in the king's chamber. I went there when there was a revolution, so nobody else was there. And it was quiet up there. And the guard insisted that I lay in the sarcophagus of the king's chamber, and I laid in there for 10 minutes and downloaded a whole bunch more information. There's not many people on the planet that have laid in the sarcophagus of the king's chamber. I'm one of them. And I got downloaded with a lot of this information. Then I decided, hey, I want to go deep. I want to go really deep. And I went and I attended ayahuasca ceremony, sapo ceremony at Ojé in Peru. That was challenging. And so, as you can see, I'm kind of like, I've dedicated myself to this journey. And it's been beautiful and wonderful, and I just love being able to share this information with all of you. Thank you so much for being here. It wasn't always this way. My journey coming into this work was a very challenging one. My family at that time, before I got into this, was going through a rough patch, like my dad said. My dad was 68. He was an entrepreneur. He was running his business still, and one day he collapsed, and within 36 hours, my dad was paralyzed from head to toe. And he had Guillain-Barré syndrome. And for 4 years, he was in and out of the hospital. He was intubated. At one point, he could only blink his right eye to say yes or no. And so I watched my dad's journey at the hospital, and many, many good people at the hospital. I work with many doctors, nurses, psychologists, psychiatrists. I've worked with them all. Brilliant people, but there was a lot of things that didn't go well at the hospital, a lot of things. And I recognized there has got to be a better way to look after people than this. Shortly after my dad passed, 4 years later, my niece, who was 18 at the time, went for a last hurrah with her friends. She was from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. They went to the West Edmonton Mall. On their way home, a drunk driver hit them, killed my niece's best friend, and my niece died at the scene of the accident and was revived. That was the worst, most horrible situation. Having said that, it put me on my journey because my sister, this is her only child, and she said, what happened, they put my niece back together, they did 6 hours of surgery, and then they told us, she's brain damaged beyond repair, she's going to be a vegetable, there's nothing left. So my sister refused to accept that for her child, and she contacted a long-distance healer. You may have heard of him, Adam Dream Healer. Who's heard of Adam Dream Healer? At that time, he was a 16-year-old boy, and he worked on my niece from BC, from a photograph. And every time he worked on her, she came more and more and more back to us. And by about the 8th or 9th time, she remembered what she bought at the mall. And that's when we knew she's going to be okay. Funny enough, her best friend had been asked out at that time by a young man in the office, the one that passed, and she gave him her phone number and said, you need to phone this guy when we come back. He's perfect for you. And she did, to let him know that her friend had passed. And they are now married, and they have 2 children. And my niece went to university 3.5 months later. She was modeling. She's got a beautiful life, 2 beautiful daughters. And I thought, cool, I want to learn how to do this. So I went, this is my journey. That's when I started finding out. And what happened is, shortly after my niece died, then my mom's identical twin died on Boxing Day, and then of cancer, and then my father-in-law passed. So it was a really rough patch. Then my dog died. I had to put my dog down. That was the straw that broke the camel's back. And that's when some stranger gave me this beautiful little puppy, Ella the Enchanting. She's a little Tibetan Terrier. And Ella brought so much love into our life. Tibetan Terriers are given to esteemed travelers by the monks. And this little beautiful dog, she came into my life and introduced me to my first mentor, Tai Neil, who was at that time sharing the method, the Yuen method with people in Canada. And ever since then, I have been on this journey. And so I want all of you to know here, at the deepest, darkest moments, there is always light. And rarely, rarely do people ever excel unless they're in a little bit discomfort. And so what I normally do, I normally have about 2 hours, and I have an hour here now. So I just want to explain to you, for me, I feel that if I show people and they experience it, that it's better. So we put your names in a hat, those of you that are willing to come into my office. And I promise you that I will not embarrass you. If something comes up that is, I get a very clear, don't say this out loud, I promise you I won't do that to you. You may cry, you may laugh, but I don't need to know your whole story, and you don't need to tell it when you come up here. I just want you all to know that. And so we put all the names in the hat here. Yeah, well, there's another name that's not in the hat, in the jug. So I've been teaching these seminars, and my new ones are Call to Dance. And what I do, the reason I called it Call to Dance is because I realized, you know what, I've been doing this for 12 years now. I want to have some more fun. And I was called to do this work. And so when I first started teaching seminars about energy work, I brought Buzz Lightyear crayons to infinity and beyond, and I said, people, just take notes with the crayons. Because if your left brain is happy, if you're doing something, if you're coloring or whatever. And so now my manuals are kind of like those anatomy coloring books, and you download the information as you sit there. This is something that I have taught to thousands of people, and I just want to show it to all of you right now. It's very simple. I'm wondering, Jennifer, if we have someone who would like to come up. It doesn't, that I can show what I teach, just quickly. If you pick a name, you would like, well, I think she's picking a name out of the hat just to keep it fair. Yeah. Michael. Come on up, sweetheart. Would you like to stand or would you like to sit down? Okay, cool. So I'm just going to show you on her right here. I can show this through kinesiology, that if you just give me your arm and give me enough strength that you hold it, like when I push on your arm, that you hold it up. Give me more. More? There, okay. There you go. Okay. All right. So energetically, I want you to think about squares. Think about squares. You see that? How her arm goes down? Don't fight me. Just keep enough to be there. Now think about circles. Do you notice a difference in your energy when you think about circles to squares? And any of all of you can also get in touch here with that energy. Now, think about being caught in traffic and you're about to lose your job because you're late for the 10th time this month. You see how the energy goes weak? Now think about having, do you have any children?
Yes.
Think about the birth of your children. You see the difference? Strong. So energetically, we are either weak or we are strong. We are in alignment or we're out of alignment with everything that we say, everything we do, everything other people say to us, everything that anything's actions that are happening, things that we are going to go forward in life in. And so we're just going to strengthen this for all of you to really feel this. Okay, now I'm going to say, if you wouldn't mind standing up just for a minute, I'm going to get you to stand with your toes turned in like a duck. Okay? Now give me some strength in your arm. Okay? Do you feel how that is? Okay, put your tongue on the roof of your mouth. Do you see how super strong? Do you guys feel how strong her energy is there? Okay, now turn your toes out like a ballerina. And take your tongue off the roof of your mouth. You see that? She's so weak, right? When you put your tongue on the roof of your mouth, you instantly connect yourself to source energy and you ground yourself. It's your governing channel. And so I've gotten people through court cases, through all sorts of things with this energy. And what I say, if you put your tongue on the roof of your mouth, you can't say what you want to say. So a lot of times when people are asked a question, they'll say, I got to find a logical answer. But if you're asked a question and you look for a logical answer, it's like a dog chasing its tail. Logical questions require creative solutions. And you will only get those creative solutions from within yourself. So many people these days are looking outside of themselves for the answers. And we need to go inwards. Over the years, I've discovered people take this way too seriously. And so I decided that if I'm going to continue to share this information around the world, I'm going to have fun doing it. And I find that's why my books are coloring books. If you take it too seriously, anytime you give, like if you get a diagnosis or you have financial issues or whatever, and you lay awake, how many of you have laid awake at night and you're thinking about finances? Just put your hand up. Okay. And so you'll be thinking, oh, I've got a financial problem. But then eventually you become sick, right? Because you're worrying about it. I wrote a book. This book, The Truth is Funny, is dedicated to mothers, because the number one weakness for any child on this planet is the mother worrying about their child. And what are mothers taught to do? Worry. And so if you think about your body being like a computer, this computer, the hard drive would be your central nervous system. And when you connect your central nervous system to your heart and plug it in, and you go inward for these answers, you will always find the most applicable answer for you in that given moment. And it will not be the same as the person next to you, what would be the best answer for them. When I was going through all of this with my family, I decided I was going to find a better way, and I have. And I have taught this to many people. I've worked with autistic children. I've worked with people who have stage 4 cancer, and I just corrected them not to care about it, and they live for 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 years later. How many of you have lost people who have made their transition recently? Put your hands up. Just everybody take a look around the room. A lot of people are moving through a different space right now. Just this week, my sister phoned me yesterday. My favorite auntie passed on Monday of pneumonia, and I was coughing that day, and I'm like, what? Can't stop this cough. She died of pneumonia that day. Then on Wednesday, another member of our family passed. And then yesterday, my favorite cousin, who is 69, passed. And the beauty about Malcolm, and I just want to honor him here, is he was given a diagnosis of cancer 36 years ago, and he was told he would only live 6 months. He lived for another 36 years because he wanted to live, and he chose to. And so what people tell you, what you think it is not ever, it's what you feel. And that's what I teach people, is to feel. Think about the problem, feel it, and then let the mind go, and the answer will come to you. And generally, like within, my seminars are 2 days, and by the time we go for lunch, everybody knows how to do it. They've already done it on everybody else. And they're all going, oh my God, it works. And I'm like, yeah, I know. And that's my favorite part, because you don't have to believe in this. You don't have to have any special skills or knowledge. I am actually not teaching you anything. I am sharing with you information that you already have within you. And now I'm just bringing it out in people so that they can have a better life. And I just talked to one of my clients. Her son, 6 years ago, was about to be put in an institution for 6 years, he had been kicked out of 2 schools. He had autism, 4 other spectrum disorders. He was on 3 medications 5 times a day, or 5 medications 3 times a day. And she came to one of these demos like this, and I brought her up. And the next day, when she went to the psychiatrist, they lowered his medication. That young man now, 6 years later, is off all medications. He is he made the basketball team. He graduated from school. He's in high school now. He has friends. He's kind to his sister. All this beautiful thing. And every time I think about this beautiful being, it's like, even if it was just that one shift that happened that was so beautiful, oh my God. And now she, the mother, is working with the autistic children in this way and sharing the beauty of watching your child thrive. And it was just because she was so worried about him. So I'm going to get another name out of the hat, Jennifer. It's fixed. Yes, absolutely. Sit down. Okay, so what would you like to work on? It can be anything. What's bothering you, or do you want to work on, the situation in the world, or whatever you want?
Just learning to be my authentic self and honoring myself and what brings happiness to me, so I can bring happiness to others.
Okay, so what I like to do is always get a baseline from people, how much this is bothering them. Because when you start energetically shifting people, what happens is they're feeling better, and then they're like, wait a minute, I can't be that simple. All I'm doing is focusing on the spine. I'm running energy up and down the spine in a split second. And I'm pressing delete on the computer. There we go. Yawning is a way of clearing energy. Yeah. And so also I should say to everyone here, people who come to my demos, the most efficient way to clear toxins, toxic thoughts, poisons out of your body is to do it through the bowel. People who are going through crappy situations tend to have bowel movements when they're letting it go. And people who are pissed off tend to urinate. And so if you feel the urge to go to the bathroom, please do. Because I see people in the audience doing this sometimes. And so when you think about your authenticity, on a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being you're really bothered because you're not authentic, and 0 down to I'm totally neutral to this, it doesn't bother me at all. Where are you on that scale?
Probably close to the 10.
Okay. Yeah. So she's feeling really like she's not authentic here. And so I'm just going to strengthen you. I'm going to do this for the whole room here. Okay? Everybody close your eyes. You too, please. And thank you for being such a beautiful surrogate for the entire group. Because I just want, first, before you close your eyes, I want you to tune into this woman here. Is this a beautiful presence? Yeah. Put your hand up if you feel the beauty of her presence. Did you take a look around at the room here? Okay, so this is just a dumb thought you have. So I'm going to reconnect everybody to source energy, okay? So if you just want to close your eyes, I want everybody to feel this. So put some energy into your spine. Feel your heart. Take a deep breath. We're going to take you from your brain, your central nervous system, into your mind. And then we're going to let go of the mind. And then we're going to go to our soul, oversouls, to your what I call HSN, your higher self network, your highest self. Your highest self understands how beautiful you are and why you are here and what you are doing here. So we're just going to strengthen everybody to that. And then also to source energy, whatever you prefer to call that. Source energy is, I call it God. Some people call it source, unconditional love, divine love. Those all work for me, whatever is best for you. And there's a few of you that are disconnected from that energy right now. So we're just going to pull the whole group together. And the strongest person connected to this source energy, we're just going to pull that energy in for all of us. And that's going to be the vibration that we're raising the entire room to. And so when we get to that highest existence and to the source energy, that feels stronger now. You're going to pull that energy down to your higher self, into your brain, letting go of the mind. And I like to think about this as like the nectar, the honey, the beauty of divine love, of unconditional love, of perfect order, strong throughout the body. And your cerebral spinal fluid, there's some weaknesses in the cerebral spinal fluid. Many of us have toxins that are left over from, if you refer to them as past lives. There's metals, there's emotions, there's everything that's ever happened to you is documented in your hard drive of your computer. And so we're just going to strengthen that as you let this go, this beautiful honey comes and it fills all those little empty spaces of all that fear and all the things that you've been told that you are or you are not. And we're just going to strengthen that to just fill all those spaces. And as I'm going to create black holes here to let that energy out. And then I want you all to wiggle your tailbone a little bit. Your tailbone, we all have an energetic tail that evaporates or is absorbed at around 8 weeks as a fetus. That tail, though, stays with us. This is our connection to the earth, actually. So we're just going to strengthen everybody to that. The earth is not something that needs to be fixed. We live in perfect organization. All of our cells are singing. We're going to pull all that energy up into the organs, every organ in our body, all the organ systems. And then we're going to pull that energy down. And we're going to move it into the cellular level, to the subcellular level, to the mitochondria of our cells, where we are regenerated. And we're going to pull that energy through. And then we're going to take that energy down even further. We're going to take it all the way into the atoms and the molecules. And then we're going to pull that energy all the way down to the very quantum particles of our being. And then pull that energy strong to the earth, strong to being on the earth at this time, strong to traveling on the earth at the speed that the earth is traveling at right now. There's many people that feel that there's not enough time, that they're running out of time. Oh my, it's so busy, I can't get everything done. We're just going to let go of that. Just let it go. There is no time. So we're just going to let that all go and be strong. Our left foot and our right foot, strong to standing on the ground at this time. We are here at this time because we are here at this time. And it can just be that simple. Pulling this energy all the way back up through the quantum particles. It goes weak at molecules. We want to strengthen everybody in this room and outside of us, or all around us, to be appreciated for all the good work we do, and to be able to manifest on the molecular level on this plane. You wouldn't be here if you are not beautiful beings that are looking and searching for a beautiful way in life. And we're just going to strengthen all the energy from all of these beautiful people in this room to integrate and raise that vibration up and pull that back up through all the organ systems. We want our entire body to be in perfect harmony. All the cells singing, dancing, moving. And we're just going to pull that energy up and back down around through the organs and up the spine, into our hearts, into our brain, and then let go of anything and everything that's holding us back at this moment. And we're going to strengthen to forgive and forget unconditionally. Everything we've been told that is inaccurate information. And when you're ready, open your eyes. How are you feeling?
I feel really relaxed.
Yeah, there we go. So when you think about your number now, where are you at?
I'm at 0.
Yay. All right, here we go. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's how simple it is. This woman, and this is something that a lot of people are saying to me. I've been painting a dragon deck. It's an oracle that came to me 11 years ago, and I've been working on it for 11 years. And almost everybody that walks by my table picks the devotion card, which is about their purpose. And I'll tell you what, you do not have to apologize for your existence on this planet. Your purpose is to be the best version of you. Everybody always asks me, what's my purpose? What's my purpose? Your purpose is to enjoy life. God is perfect. When I was in ayahuasca ceremony, kind of found it out the hard way after about 7 hours of struggling with it, that there's perfection in imperfection. And that means that everything doesn't have to go exactly the way we expect it to. If we have expectations of how our life is supposed to be, and we follow other people's expectations of how life is what we're supposed to be, and we don't have the anticipation of being in our glory, every single one of you every single one of you came on this earth, and every thought you have adds to every other thought in the universe. If you look around you right now in this room, this table, these chairs, the pictures on the wall, the lights, the screen, all of these were just a thought somebody had that they've manifested to be on the physical plane. Every single one of our thoughts is exactly like that. Our thoughts are so powerful. If people understood how powerful their thoughts are, every thought we have, when we have it, it goes into the tiny quantum particles of our cells in our being. So if we have a limiting belief that we are unhealthy or we're not able to sustain ourselves, and we go into lack over that, and we put that thought out, I'll tell you what, by the time it gets out to the multiverse, that's a really loud thought because it just amplifies and gets bigger and bigger. And so every time anyone has a thought, that thought becomes the property of the entire multiverse. We all have access to it. As soon as you have a thought, everybody has access to that thought. And that's a beautiful thing, because then if someone isn't motivated or empowering themselves to go do what they said they were, someone else on the planet will. And I know this because when my daughters were, when I was naming them, I thought, wow, Mackenzie and Madison, those are really, 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 I've never heard those names before. By the time they got to school, they had there was 6 Mackenzies and Madisons in every class, And so I was picking up the energy of the universe feeding me this information. What's the most popular right now on the planet? And so we're all doing this all the time. We're picking up external thoughts from people. And I don't know, how many of you have noticed that lately on this planet, that there seems to be a lot of misinformation? Put your hand up. Yeah, there's a lot of lies. There's a lot of information that we've been fed. I call those, in my dragon cards, those are the tactics. And in my dragon oracle, the vertical cards are the shamans, and the horizontal ones tell you right away that you need to take a direction in a slightly different direction. And so I painted all of those from my ayahuasca ceremony so that you guys wouldn't have to purge. And because going into that space is a very deep, and what I've discovered is that the gems that you find in the dark are the most beautiful gems. That's when you really see yourself, and that's when you see your beauty. My very first ceremony, I had a 6-hour movie of everything I did wrong as a mother. It was horrible, horrible. Like if I looked at them wrong, or if I just said the wrong thing, or if I could have said that, or I should have been more patient. Oh my God, it was 6 hours of hell. And then I purged, and the Madre said, because the plant medicine has a spirit, the Madre said, those aren't your daughter's thoughts, and those aren't mine. Those are your own. We think you're a great mom. And I'm like, could you have told me that about 5 hours ago? She said, I would have, but you wouldn't listen. And so, Jennifer, do you want to pick another name out of the hat? Oh, my beautiful blue-haired babe. I love your hair. So, do you want to stand, sit, whatever? We aren't going to miss her, are we? So what would you like to work on?
Letting go of a feeling of responsibility that I have to be something for people.
Okay. And when you think about that on a scale of 0 to 10, 10. Yeah. And have you been kind of sacrificing yourself instead of doing what you feel is right for you?
I'm trying not to, but I'm sure.
Okay, so trying is just another word for not doing. How many other people feel like, I'm kind of done with being nice to everybody? Put your hand up. Okay. This is common, so you see you're not the only one here, right? Okay, so really what came up right away, when people think about the word responsible and responsibility, what they do is they think, oh man, I gotta look after people, I gotta be responsible, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. Your responsibility is your ability to be able to respond. You see? And so once you learn how to go inward, put your tongue on the roof of your mouth and don't say yes. She says yes before she says no. the number one leading factor for people who have fibromyalgia and arthritis is not knowing how to say no to other people and not saying yes to themselves. So we're going to strengthen this for all of us. Put your tongue on the roof of your mouth. Put some strength into your spine. Get in touch with what it is you really want. How do you feel about that right now? With your tongue on the roof of your mouth, you can take it off to talk.
Better.
Right away. So what does better have a number?
5.
Yeah, see, she's already dropped to the mid-level. Now she's going, could it be that simple? And will I be able to maintain this? This is a very simple technique, I'm telling you. People are using it within minutes, as I said, of teaching it. And once you learn this, you don't unlearn it. The thing about this energy and learning how to shift energy is remembering to do it instead of when you get triggered, going, ah! And so we're just going to strengthen that for you. You have the right to be able to be in this place at this time, and you have your own journey. Do you have family members that you feel that you are looking after? Because it's coming up, and I'm not going to get into it with you, but it's family, okay? So how many of you feel that you have issues with your family? Take a look around. Your friends are God's way of saying, sorry about your family. So we're born with certain people, and they bring us into this world. And we came to them on some level because we absolutely wanted them to be our parents and our siblings. And we almost always have karma with our siblings, our parents, our grandparents, our great-grandparents. So I suggest whenever someone wants to have a baby, and while they're pregnant, we work on the karma before the baby comes out so that it's a much more pleasant lifetime. And so I'm just going to strengthen you to this, to your family and to your real, true family. Do you have tribe?
A small one.
What is small to you?
3 or 4.
Okay, are those quality people?
Yes.
So we're going to get you strong to that and building upon those qualities that you see in those. What's coming up is she has very different values from her family than she does from her friends, right? And so I just want you all to know we're feeling this because the gap between aware and unaware is getting wider and wider and wider. And it's not because you don't love each other or that it was imperfect for you to come into this life in this way. It's just time now for us all to move into our true way of being. And because there's so many more people on the planet that are actually going, yeah, you know, we have to really thank Donald Trump for being president because he's pointing out to us some of the weaknesses that we've been seeing in government, authority figures, all of these things. And so people were like, some people are like really upset about what's going on in the world right now. And I'm like, hallelujah. It's time for some change. This is the moment I've been waiting for. This is why I came. When I first came to a demo like this, I left the demo saying, I was born to do this. I knew it. That was my purpose. And then I found out it's everybody's. So we're just going to strengthen you to your special qualities and working with those special qualities. So when you get in touch with your number now, where are you?
2.
Yeah, I got a 3. She's even going down lower faster. When people, I call it perception, but I spell it P-U-R-R. You know, being able to see the good in life. Have you ever, who has a cat here? Okay. Have you noticed something about your cats? They only, my dog is now, I have no dogs now, but my dog always, if I did a session with someone, she would lay beside me and lay her foot, you know, her head on my foot. And then and as soon as the person cleared the energy, she would roll over on her back and she would burp. and that's when I knew, okay, they're good. But my cat, Pearl, she loves to correct energy, but she only does it when she feels like it. So this is kind of this energy that the felines have is good energy for you to embrace. We are moving into the year of the dog, which is all about loyalty. And in my seminar coming up in February, just before February 16th, I tell this to people. If you already have broken your New Year's resolution, who's already broken their New Year's resolution if they made one? Put your hand up. One person. Wow. What's that? Oh, how many of you made a New Year's resolution? Okay. Okay, I say every day can be a beautiful day. I was working on a call and I was telling this to people. I'm like, December's a rough month for me. It's my birthday, and then it's when I got my anniversary, and then it's when I got divorced. It's all in, and it's Christmas, and then my aunt died on Boxing Day. It's kind of like December's done, And then, so I was correcting everybody just to let go of it. Why do we have to have special days designated to be beautiful when every day can be a beautiful day? Every day. And guess what happened as I'm doing this call? I'm like, damn, the doorbell rings and interrupts my recording. I go to the door, and someone sent me flowers. And I was like, wow. And it was anonymous. And you know what the card said? Have a beautiful day. These kind of things happen to me all the time. Like I laid in the sarcophagus of the king's chamber. I meet people. I'm walking down the path, and I was just thinking before I left, I need some amethyst. So I go up, walking into the paths out by the pyramid out here, and on my way back, right in the middle of the path is this big, beautiful chunk of amethyst. And thank you, universe. So we can manifest in a very, very beautiful way. We can manifest everything that we wish for, and we're going to make a correction there. When you are wishing for something, it means you don't have it. And the universe is going, oh, she likes to wish for things. But she doesn't really like to get things. So the universe goes to manifest in the universe what you want. You go inward, and you go to your heart, and you trust that. When I say trust it, have faith in yourself. Have faith in yourself. You are a beautiful being. Where are you at number-wise now? 0. Yeah. And you can tell with her energy here, she's way more, okay, I never thought about it from that perspective. I want to thank you. Are you a hugger? Yes. Okay. So we're just going to strengthen for the entire group. As you go through this psychic fair and you're walking around the booths, you will know exactly who is there for you at this place. Do you understand? How many of you have experienced that? Yeah. So many people have said to me, oh, I went and did that, and it was exactly what I needed. That's because you're at the psychic fair. Okay.
Jenny May? No.
All along this front row. All right.
Hi.
What's your name?
Jenny.
Jenny? Okay, Jenny. Yeah.
Jenny.
Okay, what would you like to work on, Jenny?
Well, I feel really good right now.
Cool.
Probably romantic relationships.
Okay. Who else? Okay, I'm just going to share something here for you. Cindy, can you just stand for a second? This is my good friend Cindy Lee Yelland. And she's my feng shui with the dragons expert. And do you want to just share with them what happened for you, just quickly?
Oh, on the romantic level?
Yeah, do you want to come up here? And it has to be quick, Cindy. Okay, there we go. Just share your story a little bit.
Okay. Probably about 2 years ago, I was going through quite a health issue, and I was working with Colette, and she was doing some amazing correction work on me. And after I started to feel better, comes the romance part, I said, I'd really like to meet a really nice guy, kind and caring and fun. So she did a little session on me. We went for a walk, and she corrected me to meet the perfect person for me. And I don't know, a week later, on guitar. So it's pretty amazing. And we were working with the dragon cards, and he was born in the year of the dragon, and so there was all kinds of sort of things that clicked in. But
Yeah, just fell into place.
just fell into place.
And at the time when I met Cindy, because we were both speaking out at Spring Festival of Awareness many years in a row, and when I saw her, when I moved here, she was 30 pounds lighter than she is now. Her stomach wasn't working properly. She'd had cameras inserted in every way that you can, every test done, and they said, there's nothing we can do for you. And I told her, it's not physical. You can go and they'll test you on this and that. It's not physical. And when we got to the bottom of what the issue really was, then she could keep food down. And then she could think about romance. So what kind of man do you want? Is it a man you want in your life?
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
I guess, yeah.
Yes.
Well, it is a man, but
Okay.
I don't know if I'm ready now, but
Okay, so this is really crucial what she just brought up here. If you're not ready,
just because I keep getting the wrong people.
yeah. I just want to explain something to people here. When we are with even if it's opposite sex or if we happen to like the same sex, it doesn't matter, but we're looking for that special someone that's going to make our life wonderful. We don't want to go searching for them when we're not strong. Because you know what you will attract is a little bit better situation because you get some learning from the bad relationship. And now you just get a little bit better relationship, but you can't see the big picture where it's perfect and it's exactly what you want until you become within yourself strong to your masculine energy. And that your masculine energy and your feminine energy merges with each other and they marry each other instead of fighting with each other. That's when we can attract a strong relationship. 1 weak plus one strong person makes a half-assed relationship. Okay? 2 strongs make a super strong. And 2 weeks, well, we all have done that at some point or another. So when you think about having a relationship, how old are you?
I'm 33.
33? And do you have a base for a relationship that you had that was really wonderful?
Something good in every relationship that I've had. There's been some good.
Okay. And so when you think about the some good, what was the some good? What was the best some good you had?
Wow. Probably just being totally in tune with that person and comfortable.
Okay. And have you ever experienced that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can do it.
Yeah.
But when I test her energetically, you really like your freedom right now. I had someone similar to this that came up, and she said to me, all my relationships, they only ever last 3 months. They're never, ever, strong relationships. After 3 months, they always fall apart. And I'm like, if you tested energetically, 3 months was strong for her. That was a long relationship. So this is the case with you also. You get what I'm saying, right? So at first she's all, hoo, hoo, hoo. And then she's like, So we're going to strengthen you to really go inward and really, really feel what it is you want from a relationship. What I suggest to people, write it down, paint a picture of it, tell the universe what you want, and then let go of it and don't have any expectations about it. Whenever I manifest on this third dimensional plane, what I always say to the universe, this or better. Because we can only see 4% of the electromagnetic spectrum of what's out there. And the scientists, the quantum physicists on the Earth call that, another 96% black matter, junk. I don't know. That dark matter can, 96%, that's kind of like, there might be something in there that's of value, right? And so we want to be strong for you to be able to see your qualities and to recognize what it is you want, and then let go of all expectations of how that's going to happen. and fall into this beautiful place of anticipation. Anticipation is way more fun than expectation. Expectations always, always create limitations. And so some people, how many of you have been told to believe in yourself? Put your hands up, you know? Okay, believe in yourself. I say, you don't have to believe in me. You don't have to believe in what I'm doing. You don't have to believe in yourself. A lot of us, I don't know if you know, do you know the golden rule? Treat others as you wish to be treated. Have you met some people that treat themselves really rough? Who has? Have you been really mean to yourself?
Probably, yeah.
It comes up strong. So what I'm saying to you is we want to let go of those expectations and allow ourselves to anticipate what it is we want and then expect. We don't have to believe in it. When we believe in ourselves, some of us have some very, very limited beliefs about who we are and what we can do and why we are here and all of that. And so I'm just strengthening all of you to have faith, faith that you are here. And you do not have to go searching for a man. Men like to chase after women. Did you know that?
Yes.
Okay, so how about we get you strong to this electromagnetic sphere where you're going to be, and I'm just going to do this before we end this. I love this one. Irresistible. You are irresistible. And I'm going to strengthen everybody to this. I did this at a seminar once, and I was going through the airport, and a man followed me like through 4 terminals. And he said, "You're irresistible." And I said, "Well, of course I am." And men don't like to be chased. Men are electric, women are magnetic. Did you get that? Okay, so we're just going to download that to you in a very, that's the yin-yang symbol. So we're not going to go chasing after men. We're going to have them chase after you because you're irresistible. And all of us in this room, whatever it is we want, we're going to be like magnets that attract exactly that which our higher self is telling us, hey, yeah, go for it. How many of you have felt that in your life where you just knew, I am on the right path? Yeah, lots of you. So now the thing to do is make it consistent. All right? Because we get something and then we're waiting for the other shoe to drop. And so the universe goes, oh, I've corrected this with many people. Most people go weak to making more than $200,000 a year. That's not that much money. So we're just going to strengthen you. Not only are you going to get a man, but you know, my mom used to say, it's just as easy to fall in love with a rich man as a poor one. So we're just going to strengthen that for all of us, that we could all be rich and appreciated for all our good work. Yes? And I'm not suggesting that you go chasing after a man for his money. I'm saying let the man come to you and he may as well be rich. Because after all, you are irresistible, right? So now get in touch with that. How do you feel your chances of attracting a man into your life are?
10.
Okay, she meant, yeah, she's neutral.
Thank you.
So, yeah, I love the be irresistible shift. And let's see what happens. I'm at booth 28, if you would like to come and check it out. And then you can let me know how irresistible you've become. And I want to thank you all so much for your time and energy. Every time I do one of these demos, every time I come to one of these shows, it's my greatest pleasure in life to share this information. I've had babies that were supposed to be unhealthy, be corrected in the womb, and they come out healthy against all odds, just because of a mother's love. I have had people, all of a sudden, they come to one of these, and they find out, I have a client, well, a few of them actually, that she was like a little mouse, and she barely talked. And then we corrected her to be irresistible. And she never had painted a painting in her life. She went home, bought a canvas, and is selling them for $25,000 a piece now. She never knew she could paint. I have Rhonda sitting up here in the front here, if you just want to come just for a second. And Rhonda was calling into my radio show. And you weren't looking for your art.
No.
But what happened, she was wanting to change the situation in her life. And the next thing you know, what happened?
I started, my art just, it went crazy. It was, I started selling it. It was like unreal how it went.
And that was just from phoning into the radio show. I have a radio show, The Truth is Funny, Shift Happens. You're all welcome.
Awesome.
Check it out on my, yeah.
My life, my whole life changed.
You're selling, where are you selling your art now?
In the Penticton Reserve. I sold some to Japan, put to Japan. Actually, before my stuff was going around the world too.
Yeah.
It is really, my whole life has changed though. It isn't just that. Like, it's unreal. It's been like an amazing journey this past year since I called. So,
Yeah,
it's so worth
cool.
it. Make the call, it's worth it.
I have a radio show called The Truth is Funny, Shift Happens.
Yeah.
It's at 8 o'clock a.m. Pacific time every Wednesday, hump day. And I put that radio show out there because some people can't afford private sessions with me, or they can't get to me, or they can't make it to the seminars. You're all welcome to phone in if you're brave enough to give us an issue. I have brilliant people from all around the world that I work with. I love working with lots and lots and lots and lots of people in harmony. And so I invite you all, if you want to call into my radio show, you're welcome. And now I'm using my radio show also to promote my students, because many of them are now moving into this place where they're sharing this knowledge with other people in their own beautiful ways. And the more people that do that, the more we allow ourselves to be irresistible and be in our power, the faster that we are going to all move into this beautiful place why we came here at this time. So I just want to thank you for all of your energy and your beautiful, beautiful time that you've put here with me. It really, really makes my soul sing. Like this is such a beautiful group. Go back out into the psychic fair and be irresistible. And we'll see what happens, all right? Thank you. Thank you.